I want to introduce Jessica to you this morning, who's going to be teaching you a yoga class to relax, which is very exciting. So I'm just going to read a little bit of her bio. It was love that brought Jessica to DC, and it is love that it constantly inspires her. Its teachings are at the heart of each of her classes. Jessica's been spreading her flavor of love since completing her first teacher training in 2011. Her creative sequences coupled with fun, eclectic soundtracks help bring a sense of joy and playfulness to her well-rounded classes. With a focus on proper alignment, Jessica's clear verbal cues and enthusiasm will allow you to feel safe and strong in each pose. So having taught in multiple places around the world, no matter her location, she creates a supportive environment, enabling you to become fully present. Jessica brings the knowledge she's gained from over 600 hours in training. So yeah, that's Jessica. And obviously there's a lot more to Jessica, so she'll tell you more about herself. But just a few reminders. I did send out in that email potential props that could help you, a few books and a few blankets or towels. Again, if you want to leave camera on or off, whatever makes you feel comfortable, that's up to you. Obviously, it's nice for Jessica to see some people, but not if it makes you uncomfortable. And if you haven't filled out the survey for Hari's workshop, I'd really appreciate it. I'll send one after Jessica's class as well, just to get your feedback and make sure that you're getting everything you want to get out of these classes. And then last thing, I just hope that you feel relaxed after this class and that everything that you get from this practice is able to carry with you throughout the day and help you have a better day filled with more, joy and compassion, and just treat others kindly, and hopefully your day is filled with all of that as well. Mm-hmm. So with that, Jessica.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Angelica, and hello everyone. I heard someone's in Philly, but I also heard that you're located, the company is located in Boston, and I actually went to Northeastern for undergrad. It feels like a lifetime ago. So go Pats, go Red Sox. I actually lived around the corner from the Red Sox, or from Fenway Park, the first year that they won the World Series. And I like to say that the Red Sox were in my life for like 4 months, but I'm really excited to be here today. And yeah, it would be really great if you could have a couple of stacks of books. I mean, if you've got like 2 really thick books that are about the same height, that would be great. But I mean, those of us who have those big thick books are few and far between, unless you've got like a whole set of encyclopedias. But I've got like 2 stacks here, 2 kind of big books. So I don't know, try to make it about 4 inches tall. We'll be using them kind of side by side, so we want to try to have it even. And then if you've got like a blanket or towel, 1 to 2 for support, that would be great as well. And we'll use these to help assist us in our practice. And I just want to put it out there that, the goal of this practice is to move in a way that is going to open us up, but also to feel good and feel like we're capable of doing it. Anything that you do, if it doesn't look like mine, but it feels good in your body, and you're in this place where you're feeling stretch and release, like that's your perfect place. And every human body is different and designed differently, and we have different places where we hold tightness and tension. And so what you do in your home right now, or wherever you're practicing, might look a little bit different from what I'm doing, and that's okay. We are all perfectly imperfect, and that means like every shape is going to look different on every single person. So I just want you to kind of like let that sink in, and just really honor where you're at. And so today is going to be gentle. We'll do some relaxing poses, and we'll move a bit too to help open specific areas. and also hope inspire openness and creativity and ease in your day, in your life. And yeah, just a couple of like housekeeping things. I have two cats, and I had to put one away. They don't quite get along. You might see the other one walking around. One of these plants back here, she's trying to eat it all the way down, so I might have to yell at her. The lighting isn't that great in here. I could use your help, but I have set it up the best that I could. And I'm going to switch to a microphone that you'll be able to hear me better on and more clearly as we're moving. The pro is that you will hear me better. The con is that I won't be able to hear you if there's an issue or problem. So I've got a camera set up that's higher than my computer, but if anything is going on once we get going that you are having a hard time hearing me or not understanding something, please turn your camera on. If you turn it off, and like wave wildly at your computer so that I can see you and I can pause, because I really want to be able to, you know, shift things, change things, work with things if they're not working out, you know. That being said, I'm walking closer to my computer so you're gonna lose my head. I'm gonna share the link to the playlist that I'm going to use. I find that sharing the link, where's the chat? And we all hitting play around the same time is easier because then you can adjust the volume. I realize some people like music really loud and some people don't. And some people don't like the music that I share at all. So I'm giving you the agency to press play or not. And yeah, before I turn my other mic on, just wanted to see if anyone had any questions or comments, or if there's anything like needs specifically today, like if there's anywhere specific that feels tight or tense or would like to focus on, feel free to unmute yourself or type in the chat before we get going. And I'm actually going to change the yoga link because we're starting a little bit late, the playlist link. Or not, I guess we'll keep it on here. Okay, seems like we are all doing well. Let's do this one first. It's just, it's easier for me. So let's do the second playlist instead. It's easier for me to understand where we are in terms of timing with specific playlists. Let me just grab it on my phone. I'm gonna shift to my other mic. Can you hear me all right? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Somebody before turning. Okay, great. Thank you. Awesome. And I'm going to spotlight my mat. And all right, we're all going to hit play at the same time. I'm going to do a countdown. So 3, 2, 1, let's hit play. And the first track is silent, so don't get upset if you're not hearing anything. I am going to come back to my mat. And I'd like you to grab your towel. And we're gonna start kind of laying down, but also starting to open the chest. So grab your towel, and if you've got like a regular bath towel, I fold it in half about twice. And then we're gonna make a roll. So you kind of get like this hot dog yodel looking thing, whatever your food preference is. And you're gonna set your roll up on your mat horizontally across your mat. Here, I'll do it on this side so you can see better. And we're going to come to lay back on it so that you're making contact with your shoulders on this roll. And start off with your knees bent, feet on the floor, and let your head drop back. And you have the option here to kind of goalpost or cactus your arms so your elbows are bent in line with your shoulders, or you can take your arms straight out. Some of us have less room than others. Some of us, one feels better than the other. So I'm going to take a few moments to find a place that feels, I hesitate to use the word comfortable, but manageable. For some of us, this could be very not so comfortable, and not in a bad way, but like you're starting to feel a stretch, and it can kind of feel a little intense, and that's slightly the point. We're trying to kind of stretch the front side of the chest. But we won't be here for very long, and this is helping us to open without effort, which is awesome, And I'm going to offer you the opportunity to either keep the eyes closed, and if that doesn't feel good to you, you can absolutely keep the eyes open. And as you're laying here, I really want you to see if you can just allow your body to kind of give in to the shape. And what I mean by that is really allow your whole body to feel heavy and to sink downward towards the ground. So sometimes when we make shapes, whether it's in a yoga class or even sitting at home on the couch around other people, which is like a weird thing now, which is strange. Our body we can, if we're uncomfortable, we tend to grip, tense up, hold back. And so the point of this practice today is to help you to start to open the physical body, which will also help in terms of work and creativity. When the body feels more at ease, the mind feels more at ease. When the body feels more at ease, and the mind feels more at ease, ideas are able to come to us easier. You're welcome to stay here with your knees bent, but maybe you might want to explore starting to straighten one leg and then the other. Then the feet, you can let the feet kind of turn out to the side. And if you ended up straightening the legs, you will see that this shifts the experience a little bit more, and you feel a little bit more stretching happening in the belly and the core. And this is without effort, right? This is just by us laying back and starting to give in to the support beneath us. Just allowing gravity to do the work. And so I'd like you to start to tune into your breath. Breathing in nice and deeply through your nose. Exhale, sigh it out the mouth. Full breath in through your nose. Exhale and sigh it out. Nice deep breath in. Nice deep breath out. If the eyes are closed, go ahead and slowly allow the eyes to open. If the knees are still bent, start to walk your feet out so your legs are straight, and we'll flex the feet so the toes start to point upward towards the sky. And I want you to start to reach your arms upward towards the ceiling. And then starting to reach your hands forward, let this action help to start to lift you up. We're not going to come up all the way, just to lift your head up enough off the ground. And then exhale, go ahead and start to let the head go back, arms reaching towards the sky. Well, let's take the arms all the way back. Breathe in, start to reach the arms up and let that start to lift you halfway. Keep the toes flexed, hands reaching forward. And as you exhale, slowly lower back and take the arms down. Ooh, that feels really good into the shoulders. Again, breathe in, lift the hands. Let that momentum help to lift you. Your towel is helping you a bit, you know. And then let's exhale and bring it back down. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, reach the arms up and let that start to lift you up. And then give it a little bit more effort to lift all the way up towards the seat. Good. I'm going to turn around because the lighting is better facing this way. I really could use some tips, you know. With your legs out in front of you, I want you to cross your right leg over your left. Go ahead and use your left arm to hug the knee into your chest. Make sure your left toes are flexed. Step your right hand behind you and just start to turn your chest towards the right and see if you can lift up nice and tall. So rooting your seat towards the earth, lifting the crown of the head towards the sky. Let the chest open towards the right. Maybe the head turns, maybe not if your neck isn't feeling it today. Good, and then we're gonna come back to center. And you're gonna take that right arm inside your right leg and open out to the left. Great. Breathe in and come back to center. And we'll switch legs. Extend that right leg long and cross your left leg over the right. Keep the right toes flexed. Use that right arm to hug the left knee into your chest. Step the left hand behind you. Breathe in to lift up nice and tall. And as you breathe out, see if you can turn the chest a little bit more towards the left. Keep your right toes flexed. And keep trying to root your tailbone down, the crown of the head lifting up. Good. And then come back to center. And you'll take that left arm inside the left leg and open the chest a little bit more to the right. Nice. And come back to center. Take the soles of the feet together. If you find that you're kind of leaning forward, you can totally grab that roll, that towel, and sit the edge of your bum on the edge of the towel for a little bit more height. That's going to help to keep you lifted nice and tall. Your feet do not have to come as close to the groin as me. It's just like a place that feels comfortable. But holding on to your ankles, I'd love for you to lift up nice and tall. And as you exhale, lean forward, bend your elbows wide, and start to lean towards your feet. On your next inhale, you'll lift up nice and tall. And as you exhale, let the spine curl back. I'm gonna so you can see better. Let the spine curl back. Breathe in to lift up nice and tall. And as you breathe out, bend at your elbows and hinge from your hips as you come forward. Inhale to lift up nice and tall. And as you exhale, I don't know if you can see, try to reach your mid back towards the back of the room. Let your chin come in towards the chest. Breathe in to lift up nice and tall. And breathe out, folding forward at the hips. Hang out here for a couple of breaths. And I'd like to see if you can actively press your feet together and you'll start to feel the inner groin start to light up. Breathing in here and breathing out. Take one more nice deep breath in. Exhale, sigh out the mouth. Ha. And then you're slowly going to rise up. Gather your knees together and start to make your way onto your hands and knees. You can step any props that you might have been using to the side. All right, I'm sorry. I was trying to not be just in my tank top today, but I think it's going to be easier for you to see. So set up so that your wrists are right underneath your shoulders, your knees are right underneath your hips. And untuck your toes, breathe in, let the belly sink downward, shine the heart forward. And as you exhale, tuck your toes, round through your spine, draw your low belly up and in. A couple more rounds like that cat-cow. Breathe in, belly sinks down, heart shines forward. And as you exhale, toes tuck, tailbone tucks, round through your spine. One more time like that. Breathe in, send the heart forward. Breathe the shoulders away from your ears. And as you exhale, tuck your toes, start to round through your spine, and then start to press into your toes enough that the knees start to lift up off the mat, and you start to lift up into a downward facing dog. So in a down dog, your hands are up shoulder width apart. The feet are about hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider for your first down dog of the day. And I'd like you to try to press into your fingertips and reach the seat towards the sky. And try to reach the shoulders up the back. You can start to bend through one knee and then the other to help awaken the hamstrings. Yeah, and then start to reach both heels towards the earth. Let your head and neck go so that you're either gazing towards your feet or towards your thighs or navel. And then on a breath in, let's reach that right leg to the sky. On your exhale, you're going to start to shift forward, draw your knee forward. Right foot's going to find the floor. And then you can use your hand to guide your foot forward and lower the back knee to the mat. Now, if your knee is sensitive, you got your towel, your blanket to put underneath for support. And then I'd like you to rise up. Your back foot's untucked and you can't see it. I've got like this isn't working. I think you guys would laugh at me if you saw my lighting setup, but I think this big window is just kind of sucking all the light away. Anyways, you're gonna rise up onto your back knee, lifting up nice and tall. Your right knee is ahead, and I want you to inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, let your hips sink forward and let your elbows start to come in line with your shoulders. So similar to what we were doing on the floor with that blanket underneath our shoulders. Inhale to lift up and out of the waist, get nice and long. And exhale, let the hips sink forward, take your elbows wide. One more time like that, breathe in, lift the arms up, and breathe out. Cactus your arms, try to kiss the shoulder blades together behind the heart. And then lower your hands down. On a breath in, we're gonna move with our breath. See about flexing your right toes, pulling the hips back in space. And if it feels hard to catch hold of the ground, you can bring your books on either side of that front foot. Yeah, pull that right hip back in space. And as you breathe in, we're gonna come forward again, ground that right foot down, lift the heart, breathe the shoulders down the back. Moving with the breath, inhale, flex those right toes, pull the hips back in space. And as you exhale, bend the right knee, ground the foot, heart reaches forward, shoulders reach down the back. One more time like that. Breathe in, hips draw back in space. And breathe out. Ground that right foot. Now from here, tuck your back toes so that you can lift the back knee. Ground your left hand onto the floor or your books. And from here, I'd like you to heel that right hand up towards the sky. As you do that, can you squeeze the inner thighs together? Can you reach to that back heel, but also draw that right hip back in space to feel more of an opening in that inner right thigh? Nice. And then lower that right hand down. We'll step the left foot forward. Let your feet be about hip distance apart. And on a breath in, take your hands to your shins and lengthen forward so you're kind of making an L shape with the body. As you exhale, release down over straight legs. And as you breathe in, press into your feet to rise up to stand. Catch your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, take your hands to prayer in front of your heart. On a breath in, I want you to bend your knees and sink into, I call this chair pose. Knees slightly bent, so it's not a deep bend today. Knees slightly bent, but can you tuck your tailbone under, lift your hip points up, activate your core just a little bit here. And then from here, I'd like you to fold forward, and if it's available, catch hold of your hands into a fist as you fold into your legs, head and neck release. On a breath in, I'd love for you to bend your knees, keep the hands together if possible. If not, you can grab your towel as a prop to help you kind of pull the towel apart. And as you exhale, straighten through the legs, fold forward. If you've got the towel in your hands, try to pull the towel apart as you fold into your legs. Breathe in, again, bend the knees, sink the hips, lift the heart up. Hands are interlaced or you're trying to pull the towel apart. And exhale, dive forward over straight legs. One more time, bend the knees, sink down. Let's free up the hands and reach the arms up again. Rise up, hands connect in prayer, lift the heart overhead. And as you exhale, fold forward over your legs. Hands to shins, and again, lengthen forward. As you exhale, take the hands to the mat and step your right toes back. And then step your left toes back. Find that downward dog shape again. As you inhale, go ahead and shift forward towards a plank so that your shoulders come over your wrists. As you exhale, lower the knees to the mat, untuck your toes, and reach the seat back towards your heels in a child's pose. Nice deep breath in here. Nice deep breath out. Inhale, slowly start to lift up onto hands and knees. And I want you to step your left toes back behind you. Left toes are touching the ground. Your right foot, the top of your right foot is on the ground. Spin that left foot open. You're grounding into that left foot. Your right toes are pointing to the arch of that left foot. And from here, that's going to take work. It's balance. But press into both feet to help you lift that left arm up towards the sky. Can you grip at the ground with your right fingertips? You have the option to stay here with your left arm straight up, or maybe you want a deeper side stretch and you reach that left arm overhead. See if you can allow the corners of your mouth to lift upward towards your ears. Nice, and then lower your left hand down. Lower your left knee down. And as you breathe in, let the belly sink, heart forward, shoulders back. And as you exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips. Find your downward facing dog. On a breath in, reach the right leg high. I'm sorry, your left leg, your other right leg. We're doing the other side. Reach your left leg high. And as you exhale, you're going to start to shift forward and step that left foot forward. Guide it forward as you need to with that left hand and drop the back knee. You can pad up under the back knee with your towel if your knee is sensitive and you're on a hardwood floor like I am. Untuck your right toes. Go ahead and walk your hands up your front leg. And from here, again, we're going to inhale, lift the arms high. As you exhale, let the hips sink forward. Take your elbows in line with your shoulders. Inhale, sit up out of the hips, arms reaching up towards the ceiling. Keep pressing into that back foot. And as you exhale, reach the left knee forward, sink the hips forward. Breathe the shoulder blades together behind the heart. Inhale to lift up. And exhale to sink. Take the hands to your mat. Frame the front foot. If you use your books on the first side, go ahead and bring them back in. And as you breathe in, let's flex the left foot as we bring that left hip back in space. And as we breathe out, ground that left foot, the knee rebends. Breathe in to flex the left toes. Straighten through that left leg any amount, even if the knee is really deeply bent. Still, I know hamstrings can be tight. It's okay. Do what you can and come back to that lunge with the breath out. One more like that. Keep pressing into that back foot to anchor you here. Oh, and feel stretch into that hamstring. Right, that muscle up runs along the back of the left leg. It runs along the back of the right leg too, but we're working on the left. Good, and then from here, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, plant your right palm to the floor onto your books, and peel that left arm up towards the ceiling. Gaze can go with it. If that's too much on your neck, you can look straight ahead. See if you can hug the inner thighs in. Keep reaching through that right heel, and see if this left hip can draw back a little bit more. Nice, take one more full breath in here. And as you exhale, lower your left hand down. Step your books off to the side, and you're gonna walk forward. Let your feet be about hip distance apart. As you inhale, take your hands to shins and lengthen forward. See if you're gonna reach the shoulders towards your tailbone away from the ear so your neck gets nice and long. And as you exhale, release forward over straight legs. Press into your feet, and as you breathe in, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to prayer, and then release your hands alongside you. Bend your knees, reach the seat back as your arms reach forward. And as you exhale, dive forward, interlace your fingers or catch hold of your towel again as you fold into your shins. Breathe in, bend your knees, sink the hips, hands reach down, heart lifts. And as you exhale, dive forward over your legs. Breathe in, hips sink, hands reach down. And as you exhale, dive forward over your legs. One more time. Hips sink, hands down, heart lifts. And as you exhale, dive forward. Now, sorry about that. Release your hands down to the mat. Heel toe your feet a little bit wider than where they are right now. Now I want you to step your left toes to the back end of your mat. Lower the left knee down. You can have it on padding or not. I like to pad my knees up. My knees are a little sensitive. And then go ahead and walk your hands inside your front foot. So your right foot should be wide to the opposite edge of the right edge of your mat. You might want to bring your books in for this to stack inside your right foot, coming into a lizard pose to help us open the hips. Breathing in here and breathing out. Kind of like what we were doing before with the arms lifted in the cactus. See if you can let your hips start to sink forward and keep the heart reaching forward. You're going to feel more activation into that inner right thigh. Breathe in here and breathe out. Take a nice deep breath in and a nice deep breath out. Then start to kind of lean forward a bit and switch your leg. So bring that right knee back. We'll just step the left foot outside the left hand, the left stack of books. Can be flat on your palms or even on your fingertips. And just let the hips sink downward towards the earth. Again, gravity is your friend in this position, helping us to get a little bit more open in that left hip. Soften the shoulders down the back. Gently breathe your low belly towards your low back to activate the core. And see if you can enjoy the sensations you are noticing right now, right? Sometimes it can be uncomfortable, but when we pay more attention to any sensation that we notice in the body, it helps us to be more present. And, creativity comes when We're most creative when we are most present. Sometimes on autopilot, doing something that we don't have to think about, like the dishes, or maybe some of you run, something that we're, repetitive motions over and over. And when we're like really focused, creativity can come in. Good. So you're gonna start to lift the hips up and back. Lift the palms, take the knees down. Step the books off to the side. And again, shift forward so that your shoulders are right underneath or right over your wrists. Right toes are gonna step back. And you're gonna spin that right foot open. Point your left toes to the arch of the right foot. Peel that right arm up towards the sky. And really press into this right foot so you feel the whole right leg start to light up, which will help it feel a bit more, you'll feel stronger in your body to maintain your balance. And right arm can stay up overhead, or you can extend that right arm towards the front edge of your mat, deepening the side stretch. Nice. And then slowly start to come back to center. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, and find your downward facing dog. Breathe in here. And breathe out. From here, I'd like you to start to walk your hands towards your feet at the back edge of your mat. And then start to walk your feet out. Heel toe your feet as wide as the mat and see if you can sink your hips towards the earth. I'm going to turn to face you. So you're kind of in a squat. If this is a lot, options here. If your heels don't quite touch the ground, bring the ground to you by taking the blanket underneath the heels. You could also stack all your books and sit on your books if that feels more accessible for you. Do what feels right. We're here to both open the heart and the hips. So take your elbows inside the legs, even if you're up here, even if you're like not all the way down. I mean, I do this for a living, so my hips are a little bit more flexible than you probably. But no matter where you are, right? Even if you're here, press your elbows to your legs to help open the legs up. Try to reach your heart forward towards your hands. Nice. And we're going to twist. So I want you to step your right hand outside your right foot. Press the right arm into your right leg and spiral your chest towards the ceiling. Reach that left arm towards the sky and feel the skin spreading across your chest as you reach that left hand towards the ceiling. Nice. So then come back to center. Hands come back to prayer. Elbows inside the legs. And we'll switch. Step the left hand outside the left foot. Press the arm into the leg. Spiral your heart and your chest towards the right. Breathe the shoulders down the back. And come back to center. Take the hands to the floor. Lift the hips up. And you're going to heel toe your feet back to parallel, right underneath your hips. And go ahead and walk your hands forward again to your downward facing dog. As you breathe in, shift forward towards your plank pose. And as you breathe out, slowly lower with control all the way down to your mat. See if you can walk your toes together, as close together as possible. They don't have to touch, but walk them in. Keep your hands underneath your shoulders. Start to squeeze your elbows inward. And as you breathe in, start to lift your heart away from the mat. Breathe the shoulders down the back. Keep pressing the tops of the feet into the floor. And as you exhale, slowly release your forehead down. Breathe in, feet press down, press into your fingertips, lift your head, lift your heart, shoulders breathe down the back. As you exhale, slowly release the forehead back down. Legs stay active, pressing into your feet, press into your fingertips, lift your head, lift your heart. Stay lifted. And just turn your head to gaze over your right shoulder. And come back to center. Turn your head to gaze over your left shoulder. And come back to center. And press your seat up and back. Find a child's pose. Bring the knees together. Let the belly rest on the thighs. Let the forehead rest on the floor. If the forehead doesn't quite touch, you can grab one of your books and release your forehead there. And just surrendering forward. So notice if you're gripping in the shoulders, can the shoulders start to release down? Notice if you're gripping in the hips, can you let some of that go so that you can allow the seat to sink further towards the heels? And maybe too, this is a place where you let the corners of your mouth start to lift upward towards your ears. Nice deep breath in here. And a nice deep breath out. And slowly start to lift your head. We'll grab our books. And again, you want to have 2 stacks and leave some space in the middle for our forehead to rest here. We're going to take another variation of child's pose. This time, I'd like you to take your knees a little wider, big toes touching behind you. And your books, I don't need to bring mine closer, keep your seat low. And you're going to take your elbows on top of your books. Yeah. Hands are going to press together in a prayer. And elbows, you might want to see how far you can reach the elbows forward before releasing the forehead to the mat. And I'm even going to walk my elbows a little bit further forward. So you're feeling a stretch in the tricep, right? That muscle on the underside of the arm. You're feeling a stretch in the serratus anterior, which is this like group of muscles around the armpit that allows you to move the upper arm, right? And you're feeling your upper back where the neck and the shoulders meet start to open too. So I'd like you to actively press your hands together. So this is both restorative, but active because of the pressure, because we're pressing the hands together. And also offering a really, really sweet release. So much of our tension gets caught up in the neck and shoulders. Then in the upper body, where we experience a lot of anxiety. And so by actively pressing the hands like this and engaging in these muscle groups, it helps to release any tension or pent-up energy that's stuck here. That keeps us from accessing not just our creativity, but all the knowledge that we already know. That anxious energy makes us forget just how capable we are of what we came here to do. So we're going to let some of that go. Just a few more breaths here. You're doing great. And then slowly let your arms release down. Start to lift your gaze. And start to walk your hands in. I want you to come to a seat. And let's use our towel for that. So giving yourself a little bit of height, you're going to sit your bum on the edge of the towel and a cross-legged seat in the way that feels kind of most natural to you. And with your hands on your knees, I want you to start to lean forward and start to make some circles with the upper body. But try to keep your sitting bones, your bum connected to the earth. So if you kind of take your circle too big, you know, one cheek might lift up on one side. I want to try to avoid that to help release in the low back. So keeping the bum on the ground, taking a few circles. And then next time you come through center, take the circles in the opposite direction. Good. And then the next time you come through center, switch the crossing of the legs. And now you're sitting the weird way, and it's probably going to look weird and feel weird, and that's okay. It definitely feels weird to me, and I do this regularly. And we're gonna make circles this way now too. And again, trying to be mindful of keeping the bum on the ground as we move. And the next time you come through center, switch the direction of your circles. And then the next time you come up through center, we're gonna pause here, and I wanted us to do a breathing / meditating / mind opening exercise before we come into our rest. And so this is called bumblebee breath. And I really love it because, especially when my mind feels like it's talking really loudly and it's hard to focus, hard to connect to anything that I need to do. I'm also a writer. Sometimes there's just too much noise. And this practice helps us to close off the 5 senses, and we hum to kind of like cut through all that noise in order to kind of see and think clearly again. So let me tell you what we're going to do, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and then we will do it together. The thing is, because we're closing off our senses, that includes our ears, you're not going to be able to hear me. So you're going to guide yourself through 7 rounds of breath. So on the inhale, we just breathe in naturally, and our hands are going to be near the nose, but we're not closing the nose off. And on the exhale, we hum. So you'll breathe in, and with the exhale, and we do that for 7 rounds of breath, but our hands are going to be on our face, kind of closing off the senses. So your pinkies are going to come to the edge of your mouth. The ring finger is going to come to the edge of the nose, but you're not closing it off, just right up at the edge. Middle finger is going to come to the inner eye. Index finger is going to come over the temple, and your thumbs will close off your ears when we start. So we're closing off all the senses here. You're not going to be able to hear me once you start humming. Well, on our own, we'll take 7 inhales. And with the exhale, keeping the hands on the face, we'll hum. And so you're going to count to 7. 7 inhales, 7 exhale and hums. And after that 7th hum, you're going to let your hands release to your lap. So go at your own breath's pace. We're all going to be at a different pace. And I will lead us through what is left to do afterwards. So assume the position, but just don't close off your ears just yet, and I'll let you know when to go. So pinkies to the edge of your mouth, ring finger to the edge of your nose, middle finger to the inner eye, index finger to your temple, and then the thumbs, let them be free. So again, you're going to take 7 inhales. And with the exhale, you'll hum out, and you're going to keep your ears closed off until you're done with that 7th breath. And then you'll just let your hands release to your lap, and you'll wait for me to let you know what's next. So on the count of 3, we will all close our ears off and start this together. So 1, 2, 3. We'll breathe in. And once your hands release down to your lap, just notice the space. Perhaps even a sense of a deeper calm. Perhaps a little bit more quietness. And then we'll let the eyes open enough just so that we can come off our towel. And we're going to come back to the position we started in, which was on our backs. And take that towel with you. Let your feet come about as wide as your mat. Let your head release down and let that towel drape across your low belly. If you've got a second towel and you want to put it underneath your head, you can. And see if you can allow your arms to release alongside you. Either allow the eyes to close or let the eyes come almost closed. And before I let you drift off into this final resting shape, I'd like you to find 3 things that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything major. It can be simple, as simple as having this experience this morning of waking up early, of having that first sip of coffee, water, having food in your fridge, having your health. And after you found 3 things to be grateful for, again, see if you can just allow the corners of your mouth to gently spread apart, closer towards the ears. And maybe the smile is a little bit more genuine than the previous ones that I asked you to find earlier. But let this flood of warmth and joy overtake you as you allow yourself to really let go. And again, allow gravity to help you sink downward into the earth, into the floor. And then begin to deepen your breath. Inviting in small movements to your fingertips, into your toes. You can start to take that towel off the belly and take it over to the side as you start to walk one foot in at a time towards your seat. Maybe even drawing the knees into your chest. And then slowly start to make your way over towards one side, whichever side feels right to you in this moment. Pausing in the fetal position, gathering yourself here before gently rising up towards a seat facing your device. And just keeping the eyes closed or your gaze downward, just take a few moments to check in and notice how you feel after our practice together. And just thank yourself for taking this time, creating this time, beginning of your day, maybe moving in a way that you're not used to or familiar with, to help do something that feeds both the physical body as well as the mind and the soul. And so I'd like you to take one hand on top of your heart and the other hand on top of that, and just feel the beat of your drum pulsing into your hands, and just remembering how precious this life is and what a gift it is that you are doing something to be more present, be more mindful, create more awareness, and access tools that will help you through all walks of your life. And so I want to thank you for sharing your practice with me this morning. It's been my highest honor to share this with you. Let's all take a nice deep breath in, lift up nice and tall. And with the exhale, bow the head down towards the hands, down towards the chest in a gesture of compassion, gratitude, and joy. Thank you all so much for being here this morning. So grateful for you all. I'm going to turn my computer camera on. so I don't have to keep looking up. And also turn this off. So thank you, everyone. It's my other cat. If you got any questions or comments, please feel free to unmute yourself and talk, or you can type in the chat.
Well, thanks for helping center us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I hope it was helpful.
It was
For
great.
sure it was, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yay, I'm so glad. Yeah, I apologize for the lighting. There's other people, and the space where I normally teach from is actually my bedroom that I share with my partner, who doesn't get up until about now. So I hope that you are able to see most of what was going on, but this is, you know, COVID times, the best that I could do given the circumstances at the time of day.
We were fine. We could see you.
Okay, good. But yeah, if you have any questions about anything that we did or didn't do, if you've got any injuries that you're working with and you need some help, some fine tuning, I am here to talk, to share. And if you need to get on with the rest of your day, please feel free. There's no need to stay. But I hope it was helpful. I hope that it helps center you for the rest of your day. And hopefully we'll cross paths again.
That will be
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey,
All
everyone.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Guys.
Bye.
There we go. No, can't do it.